Filming yourself can feel very daunting when you have to do everything by yourself. But in this video, I will teach you how you can film yourself and tell an interesting visual story that people will want to watch. Simply explained, a story has a beginning, a middle, and an ending. But if we go a bit deeper, the beginning explains the who, what, where, when, and so on. The middle is where the conflicts arise. In this case, the character has to wait for 16 freaking hours for the video to export in Premiere Pro. And before the ending, there's usually a climax, which in this case could be Premiere Pro crashing just seconds before the video's export is finished. The ending is the resolution. In this case, the so far very patient character lost his mind and broke the keyboard. Because I don't have a flip out screen or an external monitor, I connected my phone with the Imaging Edge app to the Sony a7 III and used my phone as an external monitor to check the composition in every single shot. The good thing is, to tell a good story, you don't need fancy camera gear or even camera movement. But for the opening shot, I wanted something different, so I used the Mosa Slipod E slider to get a bit of camera movement, and I also added this plant in front of the lens to the foreground to add a bit of depth to the shot. I also placed the plant very close to the camera, beyond the minimum focusing distance of the lens, to make sure that the autofocus would actually focus on my face instead of focusing on the plant. The parts where the character is editing on Premiere Pro, I filmed all of them as extreme close-ups to make it very easy to understand even with a quick glance, and this enabled me to edit that part of the sequence as fast-paced cuts to make the story flow very well and prevent it from dragging on. It was very important to show that the exporting of the video would take 16 hours because, well, it was a big part of the plot, but also to give context to the viewer throughout the rest of the video and make the viewer understand the passing of time. In many of the shots, you can see that I used the key light as a top-down light, roughly around in a 45-degree angle from me, and I used a fill light on the other side with the intensity of the fill light very, very low, just to add a bit of light to the shadow areas. The idea was to make it appear as if the light was coming through the window and to have a bit of shadow on the opposite side of the character's face. This will give more depth and more contrast to the character's face. For the following shot, I needed more ambient light to the living room, so I placed the Nanlite Forza 60B towards the wall and made the light bounce very softly around the living room. And the daytime living room scene was actually one single 19-minute long shot, which I then cut down to several parts, chose the best parts, and used a cross dissolve to show the passing of time. In the following scene, the character finally wakes up to his phone's alarm at 10:30 p.m. and for this shot, I used again the RC120B as the key light, but I changed the color temperature to a much warmer 2700 Kelvin temperature to emulate a ceiling light. To take the shot to another level, I placed a Nanlite Pavo tube light behind the couch on the table with a cold 5500 Kelvin color temperature to emulate the ambience of the night. And I also placed two small Pavo tubes on the ground behind the couch, and in all of the pavo tubes, the intensity was set only to 1%, no more than that, and that was enough to make a big difference. For the ending, I needed to break the keyboard for real. But don't worry, it was a very cheap one, so I was able to keep the budget of the film very low and the producer very happy. If you found this video helpful and want to learn more about how to film yourself, then check this video over here because I'm pretty sure that you're gonna find it helpful as well. Alright, thanks for watching and I'll see you again in the next video. Take care.